So yeah, they could just move past consent, they don't need to take the action. All right, we're up and running and I have 6 o'clock.
Oh, good. All right. Call the special common council meeting to order at 6 p.m. Please take the roll.
Alderperson DeBaker.
Here.
Alderperson Smith.
Here.
Alderperson Schmidt.
Here.
Alderperson Leitnow.
Here.
Alderperson Newman.
Here.
Alderperson Olson.
Here.
Quorum is present.
All right, please rise for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, any citizen comments tonight? Anyone who's making their way to the podium? We'll go to the next agenda item number 4, agenda changes. We have no agenda changes. Number 5, consent agenda. We don't have any consent agenda items. Item 6, new business, approval of the minutes of June 24th, 2024, Committee of the Whole.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Newman,
Second.
second by Levino. Any additions, corrections? All right. Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of the minutes of the July 8th, 2024 Common Council meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
Motion by Smith,
I'll second.
second by DeBaker. Again, any changes or corrections? All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Resolution 5930, 2024. Resolution authorizing the insurance and sale of up to $225,225, 111 sewer system revenue bond series 2024 and provide for other detail and covenants with respect thereto. Won't, maybe the treasurer can just speak on this a little bit. Recording, you want to?
She would be a lot better than me.
Is there 2 resolutions, Annie?
Yes.
Yes, okay. The sewer portion of this resolution is the retroactive reimbursement for the Alley Street project, water and sewer were done. Well, sure, thank you. This is the sewer side reimbursement for that project.
Okay. All right, and then I guess we'll talk about the water next, but is there a motion for resolution?
So moved.
Motion by DeBaker,
Second.
second by Levino. Any discussion? All right, I'll take the roll on this, I guess.
Alderman DeBaker.
Aye.
Alderman Leitnow.
Aye.
Alderman Smith.
Aye.
Alderman Schmidt.
Aye.
Alderperson Olson.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right, resolution 5931, 2024, resolution authorizing insurance and sale of up to $539,214 water system revenue bond series 2024 and provide for other details and covenants with respect thereto. We're just talking about the water stuff, right?
Yep, the water system side was both the water portion of the Alley Street project. Again, both retroactive repayments on those. And the other portion of that was Metalcraft creating a loop at their company. So those are combined to save on closing costs with those.
All right, is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by,
Me.
yeah, you. Second by Levino. Any discussion? All right, please take the roll on this one.
Alderperson Schmidt.
Aye.
Alderperson Leitnow.
Aye.
Alderperson DeBaker.
Aye.
Alderperson Smith.
Aye.
Alderperson Newman.
Aye.
Alderperson Olson.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right. Sorry about that, Mike.
That's quick.
All right, adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Schmidt,
Second.
second by Levino, adjourn at 02. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, or adjourned.
Record.
Who's up next?
Finance, Alderperson Newman.
Call order the city City of Mayville Finance Committee meeting, Monday, July 22nd, 2024, at 6:04 PM. Take the roll.
My apologies.
Sorry.
Alderperson Newman,
Here.
Alderperson Olson,
Here.
Alderperson Smith,
Here.
quorum is present.
Approval of the minutes, we had none as we've had as whole before. So this is our first time as a committee with us three sitting on.
Right.
It was the committee of the whole. Any citizens' comments tonight? No citizens' comments? Go to number 4, discuss possible action. The 2024 budget amendment, 2024-001.
What amendment are we talking about?
Did you want me to introduce it? Just to introduce it, this is to realize the borrowing of our money, the actual premium on your borrowing, along with the interest on investments, and the premium on your debt, and along with what you borrowed the money for, the ladder truck, which was, you borrowed 1.3 million, and the ladder truck's actually 1,460,000, so the difference of 160 is we're doing a budget amendment to cover them additional costs. The front end loader was 180, and it actually was 145,000, so that 35,000 gain, or that you didn't use will be incorporated into your budget. Also, you need to increase your elections budget, just because we have an election in August and a big major election in November, so that we have enough money in our budget to cover the cost of elections. Also, your ARPA money needs to be expended by December 31st of this year, and so that the ARPA money will go to projects completed. So it will buy down your projects that you already have completed with 219,000 left in your ARPA funds.
And that,
Please do.
I believe there's still a negative balance in the CIP then after we transfer the 220,000.
Oh, yeah, I have to.
I think there's like 100,000, something like that, that's, we're still behind.
Okay, I have a question as well. So with the election thing, more money for it, can we expect that amount to go lower for next year, for the next election?
Correct.
Okay,
So I terminated the contract we currently have with Dodge County. That was at $5,388 at professional service. That is gone. We can run our own elections. Also, there was, for next year, there's only 2 elections. And so they didn't account for the 4 elections. They just copied over the budget from the previous year, which was 2 elections. So you have 2 elections, 4 elections, 2 elections, and then 4 elections.
Okay.
So they didn't account for having 4 elections this year. So we budgeted for 2.
we didn't count on having to get so much outside help with the last election either.
Correct.
That
And we
was
won't need that.
very, very costly to
Mhm.
the city.
It was.
Okay, I'm done.
So I take it that you've gone over these amendments and approve of them and feel like that
Yep, I
will get
worked
us
with,
back on.
Our contracted finance person and with Nicole, and we went over them.
I'll make a motion to approve the budget amendment number 1.
I'll second.
So we have first by Bob Smith, second by Kim Olson. And you gonna take a roll or not?
No. This
No.
is recommendation.
I'm in favor also. There you go.
Unless there's any further discussion.
Yeah,
You still have to vote on it, though.
Yep.
You still have to call the roll.
Okay.
Or ask for the yeas and nays.
Yep.
take a roll.
Roll.
Or,
Either way.
anyone? Oh, yeah, hold on.
We can do all in favor.
Yeah, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Nay? Okay. Thank you. Thanks, Bob. Discuss with possible action garbage and recycling rate adjustment for 2024 and 2025.
Point of order, Chairman, did you vote no on that?
No.
Okay, it sounded, somebody was
Oh,
asking.
you were asking me.
Yeah, any nays? Any nays, Mike? No? All right,
Thanks.
no problem.
Sorry.
Passed unanimously, last one. All right. Anything, Steph?
On the next agenda?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, garbage and recycling.
I'll have Nicole introduce this.
Okay.
So currently, the city is being charged $14, being 69 cents for a set, for one can of trash and recycling cans. But however, we are currently charging $13.68 on the utility bills for the customers. So the city has been subsidizing, making up the difference for it. So we're gonna have to adjust the rates to the actual costs. And this adjustment can take place in the next utility billing cycle, and moving forward, just make sure that every January when the rates are increased, that we make sure that we bring it up to council and have it approved.
And it's about 97 cents or $1.
Right now, it's $1.01 difference.
Okay. Okay. Makes sense to me. I'll make a motion to, if there's a motion necessary. Let's see. Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve this.
I'll second that motion. Take a vote. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That passed. So 101 is what it is, so we're gonna catch up to what it's supposed to be instead of the city subsidizing the $1.
Correct.
1 cent.
So on the next
So, and
utility bill,
then that was just fell through the cracks.
right, that should be adjusted every year to your actual cost.
So, and we'll get that. All right. We're sorry, that slipped through. So that was for was that for this year?
Remainder of this year.
And then Ranger, and then now that's 2025 yet, but January, we're gonna review it.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Number 3, discuss with possible action, inter-facility transport rates, EMS.
So we're kind of putting the cart before the horse because of the order of the meetings, but it doesn't hurt to set a rate and then decide not to use it. So we'll move forward with the discussion on this. Some of you have been here a long time, others are brand new. Interfacility transports are from like a hospital to a nursing home or a nursing home to a hospital or something like that. We've been asked for years to provide such a service. I can give you an example of, we could take somebody to the hospital that has a catheter pulled out in the nursing home, and they would ask us when we got there, hey, can you guys hold tight? You know, although it's an emergency, we can take care of this and you could take that person back. So if you're a truck driver, you're talking about being paid for loaded both ways, right? So legally in the state of Wisconsin, you have to actually have a license to provide that service. The reason that they are very particular about that is because, you know, this is a money business where you could get people not providing emergency services for patients because you're trying to get this load back and forth. So that's a problem in the industry. So the state of Wisconsin requires that you have an approved license, and they look at your staffing numbers. They look at your ability to staff an ambulance. So for years, we weren't interested in doing that because we had time staffing an ambulance for emergency transports, much less trying to do some non-emergency transports. Well, the need has grown greatly as other larger entities are having staffing concerns that are not able to provide the service that the hospitals are looking for. So we continuously get these calls. Our staffing is really great for the city of Mayville and has been. I was not interested several years ago because it would ebb and flow. We have good staff, we wouldn't have good staff. Now that we have the teaching center, our staffing numbers are excellent. Devin does our primary scheduling now. We were just talking tonight that it's just crazy to think that a mere 3 or 4 years ago, we would fight tooth and nail to staff one ambulance, and now we use something called One to Work. So you see these staffing, they can put their preferences in so we know right away who's going to be scheduled. And it's crazy to know that we're filling every shift and we're filling a second ambulance after the first ambulance is scheduled and the third ambulance. It's very rare that we don't have people calling for a third ambulance. I think we're in a good spot now where those additional revenues for the city could make a difference to our budget, making sure, again, we're trying to be as cost conscious as we can. I'm very disappointed last year that our budget was over, but not having numbers to work off of is why that happened. We do have control factors set in place where it shouldn't happen. And so these additional revenues, I think, can make a difference for the city of Mayville. The intent, again, I'm talking a little ahead of the Public Safety Committee, but the intent is that we don't make that commitment unless we've got a crew. And so I can schedule a second ambulance out. That second ambulance would know that they are going to go as an interfacility transport if that comes in. And typically that third ambulance is easy to staff. So if that team went out on an interfacility transport, we would then staff the third ambulance. So we haven't sold our fourth ambulance yet, something to consider. That'll have to be discussed at another meeting, but whether or not we keep that one, it would give us a few months of trying this to decide whether or not we sell that ambulance or we keep that fourth ambulance specifically for transports. So when you look at the pricing, so we are in the Finance Committee meeting, when you look at the pricing, my recommendation is you'll see the sheet here that has all of the local agencies. My recommendation is that we mirror Beaver Dam's pricing structure because they've recently done a review and an increase. So I'm most confident in their weight in their fees. The only thing I would change is from the $23 a mile, I would make it consistent with our $22 a mile that I'm going to ask you for next for our increase. We're currently charging $21 a loaded mile. It would now be $1 more per mile. And that's just, again, gas is just so unpredictable and it is a rate, it's an acceptable rate. So we'd be right in the middle of where people are charging right now.
Is that all approved by Medicare too,
Medicare is a lot less, just like everything else, Medicare is a lot less. So we can charge, $5,000 for transport and Medicare allowable rates. You'll see are on your second sheet. In the pink, when we get to the next budget, you'll see what the Medicare allowable rates are on the far right side of the page.
So when we do our budget then for next year, do we go with the Medicare rate typically, or do we just?
It's a geometry problem every year, Mayor, because the Medicare, as you know, are about Medicare, Medicaid is about 61% of our transports. So we charge the higher rate to have a balanced budget for the insurance companies, and for the private pays, they pay more. So no different than any other medical facility. So those Medicare numbers have been inching up. They're higher this year than they've been in a while, and we're expecting that trend to continue.
Are these inter-facility rates fully recovered?
Typically they are, because you're getting a guarantee from a medical facility, so
There's no
typically you're
insurance
able to.
billing?
Yeah,
You don't
this
have to
patient's
done
already
any-
been admitted, they've got insurance, or the medical facility itself are gonna pay for your transport between the two, so they have a very good recovery rate. We did speak directly, we had a meeting with North Fond du Lac, and North Fond du Lac is very, very similar to us. Years and years ago, we borrowed them an ambulance when they had a crash. They have recently gone to the interfacility transport, and they tell us that their numbers are phenomenal. I don't want to go to their rates because their transports are much, they're getting good business out of the Fond du Lac hospital system, so their transport from one to another is a lot less hours than ours would be.
And is the crew full staff on a
Two people.
bus, or, so it's one less person?
One less person, two people should be able to do an interfacility unless it's relatively complicated. I expect more complicated calls to go to a paramedic unit. So we would only staff it with two people.
And you're competing with the private companies that do
Yes.
the,
But even they are so busy with the staffing issues that everyone has, all these layoffs aren't going to instantly turn around and give people medical people, because you need licenses, you need training, and so those numbers are not instantly going to go up. So they're having staffing issues, and the need is great. So
and is this service as needed or as available?
as available, right, we would not be required, we are by state statute required to staff 911 first. So it would be only as available. We intend to keep the budget completely separate. Some agencies don't do that. A lot of agencies don't do that. It is our intent to keep the budgets and the patients completely separate so we can take a look and see how it's doing in a year and we can review whether or not it's worthwhile.
One last question, I ask a lot of questions.
You always do, Bob, it's okay.
Is this dependent on you having a fourth ambulance, or?
No,
is this
I don't think
something
so.
you think?
I think with having 3 ambulances, I'd like to gauge it because if we're very busy in the transport nature, I'd like to give it a few months to make that decision because, you know, we are to the point now where we're running a 2nd ambulance and a 3rd ambulance more frequently than ever. So I would like, we have the flexibility to make that decision. So I'd like to hang on and see what the business is. Once we get, it's going to take us a while to get it up. We have to have it approved by the state. I don't expect it to be operational till October or November. So I'd like to give it a trial for a few months.
So there's minimal impact on the city's taxpayers.
I think there's very minimal impact. In fact, I would think the revenues would increase.
All right,
I wouldn't recommend it.
okay.
I want my taxes to be less too.
Okay, I will make a motion to approve this facility transport rate as described by Christine.
I will second that.
First by Smith, second by Olson. All in favor, say aye.
Well, I think you should take a
It's a
vote.
roll, it's money.
Alderperson Smith.
Aye.
Alderperson Olson.
Aye.
Alderperson Newman.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Um,
Number 4, discuss with possible action updated ambulance fees and rates.
Right, so this will be the one that you got new in your packet today. I apologize not being able to get it out too early, but I think it's important enough that we do it right the first time rather than coming back several times since we haven't made these changes in quite some time. You will see, even with just the first sheet you looked at, most agencies have transitioned to a flat fee service. They're no longer charging per item. And so my recommendation is that we follow suit with that. It looks like we're making significant increases. If you look in the salmon color on the bottom here, it looks like our charges, our rates are going to go up significantly, but that's not the case when you take all the items that we used to charge for and now put it into a bundled pricing. Part of the reason we're doing that is exactly like the mayor said, is that with Medicare, we weren't getting paid for any of those services anyway. So we can bill till the cows come home and we can bill all these rates and we're only going to get a flat rate each and every time. So it's easier to recruit some of our numbers. It's easier bookkeeping for all of us and for all of you. It's not that I'm not going to track all of those services. Those are certainly reports that we will continue to run to make sure that this is a good decision. But my recommendation is on the bottom, you will see the numbers. Like I said, they look significant. They're not. Our ambulance call is anywhere from $1,200 to $1,600 currently. That's what we're billing average currently. So we are in the ballpark. Again, Medicare is only going to pay us that far right, Medicare, Medicaid, the far right amount. We don't have any control over that. On the second page where you see the yellow, the TNT means treatment, no transport. So if we go into a home, years and years ago, when we first went to an IV Tech service, we had a patient that was a brittle diabetic and his blood sugar would always tank. And we'd run in the home, we'd start an IV, we'd push the med. As soon as he was waking up, even if we had him in the ambulance, he would be angry. No, you're not taking me to the hospital. Well, that was costing the city of Mayville a lot of money every time we pushed that medication, every time we started an IV and we take it out. So we finally decided, you know what, we're doing this a couple times a month for that particular patient. There had to be some fees because we were doing a very serious intervention. If he simply allowed us to go to the hospital where they would better manage his care, that patient would have been paid for fully by his insurance. But we met with him even after we would finish. I'd call him and talk to him and say, just so you know, when we take you to the hospital, this is all covered. And so it was a fight. That person no longer lives in Mayville. So it was something that we needed to really reevaluate. So the treatment, no transport is very specific to we're giving a strong intervention. We're going into the home or splinting something or helping a patient get to the car because they decide they want their family to take them and we push their medication. So we're doing an actual treatment, and whether it's a breathing treatment or something like that. Lift assists are still going to be lift assists. Our taxpayers pay taxes to the city. I'm still a firm believer that we should not be charging those patients. They pay their taxes, they pay for our service, they support our service. City of Mayville residents only, when we go help them up and get them settled and check them out, make sure they're okay. I am of the opinion that we still don't charge those particular individuals. It's a different story for our contract or non-contract people. We need to cover our expenses. So that's what you're seeing in that yellow area. I'm recommending those all be increased by $25. It's still insurance allowable rates in that range.
I have a question. Okay, in the salmon area, you've got mileage round. And then on the second page, it's patient mileage charged. Are these one and the same, or what's the difference?
Yes, it's the same. It's the same. The
Okay,
recommendation is the $22 loaded mileage. So that means after we pick the patient up, we can only charge for transport at the point of transport, $22 per mile.
all right.
The one additional thing that I would like you to consider tonight is we've done significant research. It used to be a thing that you did not pay, and insurance companies were difficult to get revenues from for intercept fees. Again, that intercept isn't going to make any difference on the Medicare patient. That is our one flat fee. We're going to make that same amount. But if we have an intercept for a severe car accident and we're charging that patient $550, that is an insurance allowable rate. So they will reimburse for that rating. So my recommendation is not to do the 50%. You see the highlighted 50%, not to do that. That's a calculation that's complicated. We have flat fees with our intercept companies. I would like to see us charge a flat fee of $550 for paramedic intercept. Again, there's going to be 60% of paramedic intercept patients that bill never gets paid for, but the other 40% will be covered.
So when will these rates take effect?
My recommendation is by October 1st, if we have time to get it before the council, sooner than later. It's something that should have been done last year, so I would like to see it go in effect
All
by
right,
October 1st.
and then the second question I have is that these rates should really be part of our fee, our city fee structure. So I would say we should add this to our city fee schedule. The next year, budget time, we could adjust the rates at that time as well.
I did talk to Stephanie right before the meeting tonight. My recommendation is that I work directly with Stephanie. She makes a presentation to the mayor and they present in the future here, because this is a lot of work. This is a lot of complicated stuff. She can ask good questions and then present it to you on my behalf. Of course, I'll be here for questions, but I just think it's a better method for all of you.
All right, thank you.
I have two questions.
Sure.
Only two. So you've still been, even with these, the ones in the yellow, you're still having good luck with the insurance recovery on all this stuff?
Absolutely. Yep.
All right.
We've never been more successful. I think that I'm worried about it changing, the number of layoffs and everything we're experiencing.
Second question is, I haven't been around in 13 months, but you used to have your annual, I probably missed it, your annual meeting with the villages and towns and so forth and so on. Are these rates, and I'm sure they're specific to each other municipality or area, have you approached them with these changes?
Our meeting is next week, so they will be, once it's approved here, it will be discussed at that time.
Okay.
July 29th.
Good questions.
Was that one or two
One or two?
questions?
That was two.
Okay.
That was two. I promised two.
Yeah,
So I'll make a motion to approve the changes to the rates.
I will second that.
we have a first motion by Bob Smith, second by Kim Olson, which take a roll.
Alderperson Smith,
Aye.
Alderperson Olson,
Aye.
Alderperson Newman,
Aye,
motion carries.
unanimous. Number 5, thanks, Chris, too.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Number 5, adjournment. Any motion?
I'll move to adjourn
I'll second.
6:27.
Olson first, Bob Smith second, we are adjourned. 6:27. I was gonna do that.
Rob, should bring the old gavel back. Rob. Should
What?
bring the old gavel back.
Why?
It was bigger and nicer.
We're in a budget crunch, Kim.
Bring it
As long as we're in a budget, I'll save that. Public Safety Committee will come to order 6:28 PM.
Alderperson Schmidt,
Here,
Alderperson Leibnow.
Here.
Alderperson Baker.
Here.
Quorum is present.
citizen comments, hearing none. We will go on to discuss with possible action. Monthly Fire Department report to Public Safety Committee. Get one?
He had included it in his packet, because he was in the packet, because he was unable to be here.
Oh.
It would have been in the packet that was emailed to you.
Okay. That takes care of that. Item number 2, monthly police department report to public safety. Nobody hear from them either.
I believe both the chief and the lieutenant are on vacation.
Give them a vacation, plus we paid them. Wow. Item number 3, EMS department report to public safety.
Oh, wait a minute, are we gonna approve that or no? Item 2, are we gonna approve that or no?
I think they should retable. Sorry.
Do you have any insight, Steph? On item 2?
We gotta do the releases.
What would we have to do?
Down the end, which, where are
Did we
we?
get out of order?
I think you did.
Yeah. We're in item 2?
We had added the monthly reports with the updated version that we're proposing. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right, where are we doing?
Okay,
So they are doing the monthly department updates, and then it'll go into the alcohol licensing.
The police department?
EMS monthly update.
So for EMS, it's good to see you.
I'm just glad somebody's here.
Yeah, right. We're doing great. We really are. Staffing numbers are great. We're, like I said, our ambulances are full. The meeting attendance training has been great. We just had our golf outing this past weekend. Numbers are down. They're seeing that fundraisers are very difficult. Golf course told us they had to cancel 2 activities because they're having problems getting people to come out and spend money, and we get that. So, but we did have a very successful outing, not as successful as other years, but we're real happy with it. Our goal is to continue to hit those grants and fundraisers to try to cover our equipment for the newer people on the council. EMS for 20 years has not taken any funds from the city for equipment other than the ambulance replacement. So our equipment has been funded by blood, sweat, and tears of grants and fundraising events. I understand that Stephanie can't go out and probably have a broad try to cover her department, but in EMS, we have some very generous supporters in the city. So we've been very fortunate. So our goal is to try to continue to do that. No promises. Things change and that may change in the future, but we're still working hard for those types of events. And we have a team that's just, I mean, I can't tell you how outstanding the individuals were. The amount of work that goes into something like that is just crazy. And the smiling faces and the great entertainment we had all day Saturday was something cool to be a part of. So EMS is doing very well. Any questions about our department at all? We're gonna have try to put together a demo for some of you. Some of you got to participate and do CPR and drill bones and start IVs and do things like that, push some meds, and we're gonna try to do that this fall. So typically we'll do it before a common council meeting. We'll have you guys come in a half hour early and we make you part of our cruise, just so you kind of have an inkling of what it is that we can do and what we do on a regular basis. So that is a goal Julie's gonna work on and Devin are gonna work on together.
Great. Sounds like everything's going well.
It truly is.
That's
Truly
it.
is. Okay?
Nothing else? Sounds good to me.
Sounds good to me.
Thanks, Chris.
Item number 4, discuss with possible action, Class A retail fermented malt beverage license application for Tienda Ranchito located at 102 South Main. Registered agent Norma B. Rodriguez, 308 Robert Street, Cambria, Wisconsin.
This is a renewal. They just got it in late.
Oh, okay. And I take it the police department didn't have any, or don't they know about it?
No, they know about it. They would have been given the paperwork for the background. Nothing came back.
Nothing came
It's a
back.
renewal.
Okay. So there's no need for action on that, or what is there?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Recommend to council for approval.
I move to approve the license.
No, it gets recommended to council, correct? Yeah.
Yep, everything gets recommended to council.
All right.
I'll second.
Motion by DeBaker, seconded by Liebenow. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and that's to send it to council.
Correct.
Item number 5, discuss with possible action temporary Class B wine license application for St. Paul Lutheran Church located at 16 South Walnut Street, event date September 10th, 2024.
They are putting on a dinner and they want to be able to serve more.
I don't see it.
They charge people?
Yep, they're charging, so they have to have the license.
Okay.
20 days, right?
Motion to approve.
Motion to send to council, correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll
Motion
second
by
that.
Liebenow,
I'll second that.
second by DeBaker. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That's to send to council. Discuss with possible action, item number 6, interfacility transport EMS.
Their time's a charm. So interfacility transport, we've kind of talked about that. Like I said, we were putting the cart before the horse. I do firmly believe it's a great thing for the city. It's not something we're committing to if we don't have staffing. It just changes our licensure level and we're set up to do it.
I move to move forward with the interfacility transport.
Okay, motion by DeBaker,
Second.
seconded by Liebenow, and this is to also send to council.
Correct.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Thank you again.
Item 5, adjournment.
Motion.
Motion by Liebenow,
Second.
seconded by DeBaker. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Down to you, please.
See, I saved it.
Small ballot.
I might use my cell phone.
There we go. Start smart now.
I'm saving it. And the hair.
All right,
And a girl.
call personnel meeting to order at 6:38. Approval of the minutes.
You got the agenda for this one?
That was, we can bypass that because it was of
They
a
were
whole in the
pretty
past.
Correct.
You gotta work.
Yep, I'll take the roll.
Oh.
Alderperson Olson,
Here,
Alderperson Newman,
Here.
Alderperson Liebenow,
Here.
quorum is present.
I apologize, I guess I'm just trying to
That's
move
all right.
on. All right, so we got the call to order, approval of minutes, which there wouldn't be any because it was of the whole. There aren't any citizens in the lobby here or gallery, so we'll move on to discuss with possible action. Number 1, discuss with possible action the adoption of a code of ethics for council members. Who put this on here?
I put that on there.
All right,
We had some citizens a couple months ago come forward about they believe that council should have their own ethics and code of conduct policy. So I had the administrator look at some ethics codes that are in your packet and conflict of interest, stuff like that. So is this something we want to entertain to put in the council rules or not, I guess?
I took an oath, which I think is very binding, and the only time there was any problems that I've seen in the 8 years I've been here is with the last mayor. I think all of us are old enough and mature enough that we act accordingly. I don't feel the need for this.
So, well, no, agree.
Can Newman
Other person is in, other person leave now.
Any other thoughts?
Jesse, you have anything to say?
I don't know, it seems like it's important to do, but at the same time, I don't think there's a need for it really.
Jim, can I make a comment?
Absolutely.
This came up, as you know, I'm as old as Methuselah, a few times in the last 20 years. And we had the last clerk, Sarah, go to Claire from the League of Municipalities and ask a few times about code of ethics and specifically conflicts of interest and so forth. And she came back with a detailed opinion that in a community our size, where everybody seems to be related to pretty much everybody else or working for everybody else, that ethics and the conflict of interest, she said, is technically up to, you can't force it on people. It's technically up to the person who is doing the voting or the activity. And it's up to their conscience. You can't impose ethics on somebody. It's pretty much up to them to act in good faith. That was the opinion of the League of Municipalities. I don't know, this is, I can see in somebody like, someplace like Fond du Lac where it might be important, but the town as small of ours, as ours, my God, you can't hardly go to a fish fry without seeing somebody you're related to in it, much less, everything is, that's my opinion. I think it's overkill. I think it was caused by a few unfortunate things in the recent past. And that's just my opinion. If somebody wants to go through all this and do the work, it's similar to our employee handbook that we've been working on for, I think, now 4 years in a row now. Has there been any progress on that?
No,
So you guys can do what you want, but
and that's more important to me than a code of ethics, is that employee handbook.
all right, that's what I have.
That's my
It's all my opinion. Take it for what it's worth.
Here's my 2 cents. I think it was obviously back from our old establishment that we had the most tumult and peaks and valleys. I think we're on the right track now. I think people are tired of the circus show. I'm really confident who we have now in place, and I think it was just somewhat of a game of control to rein things in, because it was getting kind of crazy. And everyone sat out here, a lot of people sat out here, and there's new people that came afterwards because of the craziness. I think we're all old enough. I think we respect each other. We have a husband and a wife that are in here together. We put that out with the nepotism, and everyone knows their role, I think. Everyone knows their role if they have to comment on the internet or whatever, but I think there's a level of respect with this council and this mayor and our city administrator that we respect each person here. And I don't really think that, I mean, there's already a state code of ethics for older people. I think we could just follow that. I mean, if there's any more problems, then I would bring it up again. But
The key
I'm
word is respect.
correct. So those are my 2 cents. I just wanted, any motion or anything to further, or just no action? I make a motion and take no action on it.
I'll second that.
First by myself, Newman, second by Levino, and,
I agree.
everyone in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Nay?
No, Liv can take it back over.
I'm sorry.
Sorry. Liv can take it back over. She's the chair.
There we go. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's all right.
I think that's.
All those in favor of taking no action signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And that was all 3 of us, so, there shouldn't be any nays, correct? All right, moving on. Discuss with possible action, ordinance to create the city administrator position ordinance 1140-2024, an ordinance to repeal and replace sections 105-2 and 105-3, and to create section 105-4 of the municipal code of the city of Mayville. Okay,
All right, so we did hire an administrator, and we have to change a couple of our ordinances to be in compliance with the city administrator position. And the attorney drafted some stuff up, it should be in your packet. There was a small change that we thought we should make. I'll let the administrator speak on that.
It's under section 104-4, A1. So you shouldn't list out your different departments there. The first line, oversee and manage all subordinate city officers and heads of administrative departments and their staffs, except where such duty is delegated by law exclusively to another board, commission, or city office, period. The rest should be deleted, because it says in there that the common council may designate as needed, and then just list a couple of them. So the ordinance is where you should be designating what departments you want me to oversee. So you shouldn't, you don't need to list them all out. If you agree, I'm gonna delete that part.
should we, vote on this separate? Or should we do it all at once? I suppose we should hear the other ones. So 105-4,
A1,
A1. So we're gonna delete A1.
no, you wanna keep it up to where it says or city office, and then a period, and then everything after that up until 2, you should remove. So you're removing including but not limited to the following departments: city clerk, city comptroller, treasurer, director of public works, director of parks, and
Yeah.
department heads and city employees as the mayor or council may designate.
105-2, 105-3, we're only adding the city administrator position. And 104, or 105.4 is what she's talking about, is what we want to change.
Okay,
So you can approve it all in mass.
okay.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
could recommend that council approve with the noted corrections, and then it does it all at once.
All right, is this something that we need to push to council?
Yes,
Okay.
you're recommending.
Yeah,
Okay.
council does the main approving of everything.
I would like to recommend this to council
As described by the administrator.
as described by the administrator, Stephanie Justman.
So, Ed, you introduce it and then you adopt
Right.
it. So when you introduce it to council, I'll have it put on with the red line version of what we're removing.
Right.
Sounds
So
great.
next month they'll be introduced, or someone needs to introduce.
Okay. All right, I made the motion.
I'll second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All in favor? Move to council. May I get a motion for adjournment at 6:49?
Motion. Second.
Okay, leaving out Ken Newman. And I, like, we're done.